Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nocta and this is Disco Elysium. So, let's see this communist meeting. I think I know where I need to go. The locked place. Oh no, not this. Wait, is there a bottle maybe inside of here? Hey! I would like bottles. No, no bottle. Ooh, there's something here. Money, lots of money in fact. Okay, there's nothing in there. Right. No bottle. No bottle. Okay. Ooh, I never noticed those shoes. Money, nice. Hey, I came for the meeting. Never mind. Moss grows on those bathroom tiles. Actual moss. Magnesium and alcohol. Commodore Red. Okay. Maybe the guy's not here. I thought he will be in that apartment, but no then. Ooh, what's that? The curtain is shifted just a little. Someone is watching from within. Damn it. Oh, hey, you. Want to talk to you.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds.
I got your hint. Found the key right under the stone.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for? Yes? Honestly, I'm just trying to not screw anything up. I'm not going to make things just right, I'm going to make them spectacular.
Beautiful.
He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadow on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
He nods towards door 28. By the way, I'm really digging the view here. Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me, you do.
Okay. By the way, I'm really digging the view here.
Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place.
He looks
Monday's
away.
is special, isn't it?
He looks away, his cigarette end glowing in the dark. Very well, I will talk to him, but first, I want to talk to you. I have so many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
Okay.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
Alright.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
Where?
To the city.
He gestures
Beautiful night.
happily. Only if you promise that we will talk again. It's important.
We'll talk. Just
Talk
not tonight.
with you. Okay.
Take care, alright?
Oh, I will. Thank you very much. I feel like I might die if I go in. So,
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
I'm gonna say before I do anything because I feel like I might die. But I think I have already said that. So, who's the friend? Ooh, someone in a suit. Quarterly business magazine. Dishes soaked up in a pot. An empty ashtray. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at the local university. Samurai conical hat. I kinda like this. This stony cone-shaped hat looks like a beacon of samurai wisdom, his straws sticking up like antennas. Thank God you can't really see people's reactions when they see you strolling around in this incredibly insensitive headpiece. This light springtime scarf smells like men's cologne, mixed with cheap laundry detergent. Someone must have left it behind, probably from a date. Wear it if you want to delude yourself that spring has arrived. The shirt looks worn and smells a bit. You can't help but wonder, who would leave it stuffed in a tire container? What kind of man would even wear a polo shirt? This might be one of life's mysteries that will never be solved. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Buckets of paint on layer of old newspaper. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. What? Oh my fucking god! This is hideous on a whole new level. Oh my god, even better. An old photo of the same apartment, dated year 01. So who are you, my friend?
You have acquired the hat. Keep it, officer. It looks good on you.
You shouldn't be seeing him in an intimate setting. For some reason, you feel this man is your superior. Superior, but he's not in the command chain.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government.
Oh.
I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur la Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Okay.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy. Before we get to that, tell me where you got this beautiful circle from.
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business. That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony. You actually witnessed the lynching.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
The man gives a solemn nod.
He didn't see the hanging. He saw the little show staged by the Hardys. Let him talk. He may know more than even he knows.
Start from the beginning, if you don't mind.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
Okay.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
Meaning it was entertaining.
No. I mean, it was so strange. I could barely believe what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Thank you, sir. I think we got the picture. Anything else stand out?
Only that there were about 8 or 10. I couldn't make out anything. It was so dark. And it was quiet. Quietest lynching I've ever heard of, let alone heard. But I suspect you knew that already. I can't say I'm surprised. The fine reputation of the men and women serving in the RCM is well-deserved.
What's an official like you doing in Martinez?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
So you are some kind of bureaucrat?
Yes. As I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur la Clé working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not.
What is this international community?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
What is the price stability?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Okay, I think I understand. How does this benefit us exactly?
Take your daily bread, for example. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what?
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my questions at all.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Okay, sure, give me.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency.
I heard about this moral intern before, but I want to know more.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
Are you a moralist then?
But of course,
But why?
because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Martinez doesn't seem to be very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. I want more action. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Revachol must be governed by Revacholians. Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital. It's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D. None of the above. Is that moralism? Let's go with democracy is a meaningless sham.
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
We just haven't tried real communism yet.
Ah, yes, the unattainable ideal.
Exactly.
Never settle for less. Good luck with that, my friend.
It's not like you're going to gather any forces soon with all that drinking. And he knows it.
Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Sur la Clef.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS.
What?
Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darlings? That can't be an official designation.
What makes Revachol a darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Enough business, let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
What if I told you there's a fugitive from the moral intern in Martinez? Nope. Can you tell me about your friend?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
What do you mean?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
What's this EPI thing you keep talking about?
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
Oh, the ideal word.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and commerce.
Exactly.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Okay, but like, what does it stand for?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
No, what do the letters stand for? What do them?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
He has no fucking idea. You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you?
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it going to be like this place here?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Is Revachol going to be part of EPIS?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members?
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
How did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Peninsula? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way.
Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry, who?
The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the art.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
What are you doing in this apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
The man smiles, nodding to the window. What view? It's dark outside.
Listen.
He says, raising his hand.
The baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby is crying.
No, listen.
He says again, looking outside.
The Insulindian Bay.
What about it?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. So I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
I don't trust him.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I had something else in mind.
I'm all ears, officer.
Thanks, I got all I
A
need.
moment, officer.
Oh?
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Hold on, why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
I'm not going anywhere. I just want to take a look around in this apartment. Thanks for the heads up, but my work here is done.
Of course. I'm glad I could help.
I really wonder what would have happened if Kim would have been here. I really miss him. Okay. Is this the meeting? Where is the meeting? Inspect the traps. Yeah, signatures, Ruby, organized. Cape side apartments. Aren't these the Cape side apartments? I still love this mysterious music. Esteban, I'm looking for your meeting.
Give me a moment.
Do you know anything about the secret meeting that's happening tonight?
What? No. Nobody tells me anything.
Would she understand if they did?
How about any unusual activity taking place after hours, say after 10?
If it ain't my business, I'll keep my nose out of it.
She shakes her head and mutters to herself.
I think we'd all be better off if people kept their noses to themselves.
Thanks. Is it maybe up there? Or here? Oh, Esteban! I want your meeting.
As you approach the metal grill, you can hear several voices having what appears to be an animated discussion. This must be it. Beyond this door lies the beating heart of radical communism in Martinez. Somehow, the night air softens the smell of trash and sea brine. As the breeze pulls through the canvas like a shuttle through a loom, you catch a hint of something unexpected, something earthy, warm, and burnt. The acrid smell of failure.
Perfect.
No, that's just slightly burnt coffee. A smell you would recognize anywhere.
Just look at this pig, sniffing about after hours.
Hey, why didn't you say the secret door was right behind you?
Must have slipped my mind. You know how it goes.
She gives you a lackadaisical shrug.
The metal grill is cool to the touch.
Try to listen.
You can make out at least two separate voices. Two voices, both male, approximately early 20s.
Careful with those now. I have it. It's going to work. I can feel it.
Let's bang on the
The
grill.
clang of metal reverberates all along the scaffolding. The voices coming from the other side fall silent. A pair of frightened hares cowering in some dark crevice of their burrow.
Who's there? Is that you, Maurice?
It's not Maurice, it's the police. That's right, it is I, Maurice. Are you all communists? I'm looking for some communists.
Who said communist? Did we say communist? Get out of here.
Listen, I've already built like 0.0001% of communism, but now I need to get organized. Can you help me?
For a moment, silence.
What's the passphrase?
It's blessed are the sausage grinders. It's we away the silent mole empire. It's disco supernova. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? It's remember the braver and Abananize.
There's no response. You begin to wonder whether they've slipped out some back way. No, they're still there. You can feel them back there.
Alright. The key's taped to the back of the door frame. Just make sure you put it back when you're done, or we'll all be locked out. And do watch the concrete. It just kind of falls away, in places.
Have
Okay.
fun at your underground meeting, pig. Hope it's a blast.
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. Their attentions are fixed on whatever it is they're stacking in the middle of the floor.
That's domino. What?
Matchboxes, it appears.
I think it's holding, Alexis.
It is. It's holding.
It's definitely not holding. Those matchboxes are stacked so haphazardly, it's like they want them to collapse.
Careful, careful. Damn, hardly any difference.
The young man shakes his head and then looks up at you with barely concealed irritation.
You're late.
He should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
His companion looks up at you and squints.
One leader and one follower. The most ancient power dynamic. Just a moment. Could this be the former owner of a certain jacket you acquired? Don't let them see you flustered, sire. Play along.
Before we move on, do you recognize this jacket?
Esteban, isn't that your jacket?
What a coincidence. You two have the same jacket. What are the odds? Based on the prevalence of white Sarah-Mauritian suits in Martinaise, extremely low.
It certainly looks like my jacket, Alexis. Where did you get that, gendarme?
Must be a coincidence. I see these jackets all the time. This jacket is an Elysium property. It's been confiscated as part of an ongoing investigation. Must be a coincidence. I see these jackets all the time.
Unlikely. That's real Sarah-Mauritian twill. Only old Sarah-Mauritian communists and drug smugglers wear those anymore.
He is neither of those, of course. He is simply a poor student putting on airs. Also, he doesn't have the shoulders to fill out such a jacket.
See, Uli? It's just like Mazov wrote. How does it go again?
Those committed to the rights of property are those most apt to violate them.
His companion nods emphatically.
Just a minute. Steban, Ulixis. Why do those names ring the faintest of bells? Probably because they're the real names of Nazteb and Exilus, the authors of that so-called essay about Tip-Top Tournay you read. You should get to the bottom of this when you have the chance.
I assumed it was Maurice who broke into my room to play a trick on me. I didn't think I'd actually been raided by the RCM.
Listen, comrade, it's not what it looks like.
You're right. It's better.
Oh?
Can you imagine the look on Maurice's face when he finds out the RCM has been kicking my door down?
He'll shit himself. Positively.
And now they've sent one of their agents to infiltrate our meeting.
He rubs his hands together excitedly. Hold on, I'm not here to infiltrate your meeting. I want to join your meeting.
The RCM wants to join us?
A quizzical expression.
Interesting. Does that mean you've done the reading?
Uh-oh. No one said anything about reading. You'll just have to wing this one.
What is this reading? I saw this was a revolutionary group.
Yes, a revolutionary reading group. The most ideologically advanced materialist reading group in Martinaise. But it sounds like that's news to you.
Maybe he can explain himself.
What exactly are you two doing here?
In the most generous sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it.
But more specifically, we are running a reading group. The most rigorous and theoretically advanced materialist reading group in Martinaise.
Comrade Steban is a great discussion leader. One of the best at the university.
It's obvious they take this group of theirs extremely seriously. Whatever you do, don't compare it to a common book club.
Yeah, I won't.
Yawn. Can you imagine anything duller than a bunch of Beano-clads yanking each other's knobs?
Is this where I can square off in theory combat? Sounds like a place for intense intellectual engagement. Exactly my kind of jam.
That's our whole thing. The world is so shallow, all noise and repetition. We're interested in genuinely radical critique.
Precisely. We are not interested in senseless parroting. We like to read critically.
Within the contours of Mazovian historical materialism, of course.
I didn't realize they taught radical Mazovian theory in the universities.
Huh. As though you can call that problem teaching.
One thing you learn quickly at university is that you're not going to find a real education in any lecture hall or discussion seminar.
I wholeheartedly agree.
We are post-attendance, basically.
Exactly. The only worthwhile part of the so-called École Normale de Revachol is the library. That's where we've made our greatest critical strides.
Okay, so what does your reading group actually read?
We study all the foundational texts of Mazovian theory, of course. Just last week we finished the second volume of Puncher and Watman's Innocence of Capital.
Truly extraordinary.
And before that we spent 6 weeks on State and Plasm.
Uh-oh. You can feel your attention span rapidly deteriorating.
Force yourself to keep listening.
We've also read Wertmüller's The Megastructure of History, and before that, Real and Reality.
Communist theorists love puns, in case that wasn't obvious.
Hablars une pain infernale.
The original Fizdale translation, not that watered-down revisionist garbage.
These two deserve the Order of Honor for bullshitting. There's no way they've actually read all this stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on the theories of Ignaz Nilsson and his followers, especially the inframaterialists.
Wait, who are these infra-materialists?
You're not familiar with them? It's pretty advanced stuff. You may not be ready for it yet, Gendarme.
The two young men exchange skeptical side glances. Okay, but then who's this Ignaz Nilsson guy?
Only Krasmazov's most trusted lieutenant, the evangelist of the revolution, and a founding father of the People's Republic of Samara.
It's hard to overstate how unimpressed he is that you've never heard of this world historical individual.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. It was Nilsson who first postulated the existence of ideological plasm, which forms the basis of inframaterialist theory.
Plasm, huh? Sounds like a hell of a drug. You might want to ask about it. The young man sighs. His companion looks about furtively.
Where is the rest of the reading group?
What do you mean? This is the reading group.
Shouldn't the group have like more people in it?
We're in something of a rebuilding phase.
Ah.
Some of our former comrades didn't have the ideological fortitude our work demands.
Okay, but what happened to them?
Intellectual attrition is maybe the best way to describe it. Felix said he couldn't keep up with the reading on top of his classwork. And Susanna wanted to read text other than Mazovian theory. Like novels, if you can believe it.
Imagine the audacity of wanting to read a novel in a reading group.
Novels. Unbelievable.
See? Even the gendarme gets it.
We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately the current intellectual climate is pretty hostile to inframaterialist thought. These days, if you're on the left, the ascendant schools are the Godwallians and their iconoclasts.
Don't forget about Maurice and the turnips.
Right. Then there was the whole turnip debacle.
Whatever this turnip business is about, one thing is perfectly clear. These young students have a much deeper understanding of communism than you do. You could learn a thing or two from them. If you can convince them, you're one of them.
What's so bad about the Godwallians, who are the iconoclasts? What about Cindy? She's part of the group.
Cindy is... how to describe her role?
Something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we can't call her a member of the group per se.
You need to submit an essay.
That doesn't stop her from using the room for studio space, of course.
Will you say something about turnips?
It's an unfortunate story. You see, our ex-comrade Maurice is something of an economist.
He's studying macro and microeconomics.
Right. So a few weeks ago we were discussing the extra physical capabilities of the revolutionary state. And Maurice said... what were his exact words, Ulex's?
It was unbelievable. He said, turnips don't care if they are grown by communists, moralists, or Welkin. They grow just the same.
Basically, he was rejecting the whole foundation of inframaterialist theory.
What is this inframaterialist business they keep blathering about? You've never heard of anything like it.
Remind me, what inframaterialist theory says about turnips again?
Simply that under suitably revolutionary conditions, crop yields naturally increase relative to non-revolutionary crops, which Morris somehow has the gall to deny.
Okay, these people are crazy.
Susanna said that he has been hanging out with some non-communists lately.
For us, the question boiled down to, if you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nielsen and inframaterialist theory, why are you in the reading group?
So you expelled Maurice from the reading group over an argument about turnips.
Well, it wasn't so much that he was expelled.
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
Who are the iconoclasts?
For starters, they love talking about beans.
Beans.
That's right. Iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They love thinking about beans. They love counting beans. But most of all, they love building models to predict how many beans there'll be in the future.
Nota bene, iconoclast is an extra pejorative form of the already pejorative name, Mazovian economists, a moderate school of Mazovianism which advocates the gradual transition to communism through carefully managed economic modernization rather than violent social revolution.
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
What's wrong with making progress through moderate economic reforms?
Oh, please. There's nothing moderate about their love for counting beans. If I were a Gotwalian, I would probably diagnose them with Bonenfixierung. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists, but in reality they're just liberals with hard-ons for spreadsheets.
I love that description. And the Gotwardians, what's so bad about them?
They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists and intellectual midgets. Typical Gottwalders, in other words.
It's okay for Uli to say that, because his dad is from Gottwald.
What's so depressing about their theories?
The Gottwald school believe that intellectuals as a class are capable of sparking revolutionary change. So all they can do is critique capitalism from inside itself.
In other words, they have lost faith in their own relevance.
Yeah, that is sad.
That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works of criticism that make you want to commit suicide.
That sounds miserable.
It is miserable. That's probably why they're always committing suicide. You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. But scratch the patina and you'll see beneath that they're just depressed liberals who've read too many books.
And what about the liberals? Are they liberals too?
Of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberals are mouth-foaming reactionaries.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists. You'd need an X-ray machine to tell the difference.
I heard enough, let's talk about something else.
Go ahead.
Did this reading group have anything to do with the lynching?
Lynching? No. We're not an operational cell.
We think of ourselves as more of an intellectual vanguard.
Is your reading group affiliated with the union somehow?
No, we're an independent organization. We acknowledge and respect the union's efforts, but our interests are more theoretical than Mr. Clare's.
He speaks the truth.
Okay, but what about the group's stance on the lynching?
Our stance? What? Does he want to know if the SRV has established a party line on the lynchings in Martinez?
The two young men look at one another.
Though historically speaking, the SRV has supported direct action against right-wing paramilitary squads, especially when they are doing the Indo-tribes' dirty work.
Good point. So as a provisional matter, I can say we support it.
Are they being sarcastic? You feel like you're caught in some elaborate joke labyrinth, but it's impossible to see your way through.
So what's your stance on crime in general?
That's easy. Crime is simply the inevitable expression of the injustice and incoherence embedded within capitalism itself.
Delivered with the smug assurance of a schoolboy reciting a maxim he's committed to memory.
It's a symptom, in other words, not a cause.
He waves his hand as so this is all there is to say on the subject of crime. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's way more complex than that. Definitely a symptom, like with your economical state always results with higher crime rates, but it's not just
His
one-to-one
companion can barely suppress a yawn.
Are there any cooperation communists in Martinez?
No, unfortunately. The communards were hunted down and killed nearly to a man. All that's left of them are bones and old rifles.
Well, that's too bad.
It's a world historical nightmare, one from which we've yet to awaken.
When will you wake up? And what will you see when you do? A moment of silence. They're waiting for you to speak.
What were you doing with those matchboxes just now?
The young man frowns at the little pile of boxes on the floor.
Nothing, just messing around until the meeting started.
They're watching those matchboxes awfully intently for two guys who are just messing around. It's almost as though they were trying to create the most unstable structure they could, with predictable results.
Do I know you two from somewhere?
I don't think so. Unless you've been hanging around the Cultural Studies faculty at the École Normale de Revachol.
Perhaps he subscribes to La Fumée.
Show them. Wait, you guys wrote for this?
You've read our article.
For the first time since you met the young man, words seem to desert him.
That I did not expect.
His companion is bluffing now, a sheepish grin on his face.
The energy in the room has shifted ever so slightly in your favor. They're afraid they've somehow embarrassed themselves in front of you.
Well, don't keep us on tenterhooks. What did you think of the essay?
It was a good article, you should keep developing your ideas.
Well, of course that's just an initial foray into the subject. We're hoping to return to it for a more substantial treatment next term. In any case, I'm glad our piece found its audience. That's always the hope with these things, you know.
Is the reading group accepting new members?
We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this whole process with essays and presentations on assigned topics.
The young man turns to his companion.
But given that we have some extra seating at the moment, I guess we could be convinced to expedite an application or two.
Stefan, you can't be serious. For gendarme?
I am serious. As materialists, we've got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, he'll still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process.
He turns back to you.
Assuming he's even still interested, that is.
Let's convince them that I belong. Fuck.
Is it getting warm in here? There seems to be a little pool of sweat forming in the depression of your lower back.
Why is this happening? I thought I had my shit together. I'm not nervous, I'm superstar. Definitely not sweating, no sir. Dab the sweat with your shirt. It's because I don't do well in interviews.
No, you're terrible at them. The thought of everyone looking at you, judging you, makes you want to heave, frankly.
Why is this happening? I thought I had my shit together.
You did. You must be extremely nervous for some reason.
I'm not nervous, I'm a superstar.
Oh, totally. A superstar breaking out in a cold sweat.
Why am I getting this worked up? They're just a couple of kids.
Let's be frank. They're probably way smarter than you. You bet they've read more books than you can even name. You've been quite studious these past few days. You should be able to handle whatever they want to throw your way. The hardest part will just be working up the nerve to ask without soiling yourself.
Everything all right, gendarme? You look a little green about the gills.
No, that's enough for tonight. We will still be here if I have more questions.
Sure, we're here most every night. Maybe we'll catch you again.
Sleep well, gendarme.
Okay, let's add one to composure. Accept. And let's look around. Coffee. Reflective construction vest. At the bottom of the port, an isle of black sludge rises from a shadowy sea. Try not to think about the cracks spidering out across the floor. A rickety easel surrounded by pots of gouche. Cindy's no doubt. This one says no war but class war. This poster reads, under the cobblestones, communism. Okay, let's try to do it again now that I compose myself.
What do you need?
I'm guessing all this odd stuff belongs to Cindy?
Yeah, it's hers. She just sort of moved it all in a few months ago.
She said if she's going to make truly radical art, she needs a suitably radical workspace.
And I don't think she could afford rent at an actual studio.
Do you like her art?
Oh, sure. It's definitely interesting, I would say. I guess you could call her latest stuff a sort of counter-bourgeoisie calligraphy. She's got a real taste for radical slogans.
It's too bad she hasn't developed the theoretical foundation to do truly radical work.
I think she'll get there, though. She's still looking for a subject equal to her ambitions.
Now I'm wondering, what's the deal with this place?
The deal? At a fundamental level, I guess you could call it the shattered bones of a dream crushed by capital.
A feeble and hopelessly mixed metaphor.
That's really good, Steban. You should save that for an essay.
Thanks, Uli. When the idea is sound, the words just sort of flow.
Yes, now keep developing the idea.
If this place is the Shattered Bones, that must make us the Bone Weavers.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not as good as Steban's original idea, though.
Okay, let's move on.
Go ahead.
Come on. Fuck.
Okay, you got this. You got this.
Um,
Jack, what are those sounds? They're like the last mumblings of a mortally wounded badger. There's nothing you can do. It's like your lips have been glued together. The young man gives you a concerned look.
Is everything all right? Is there something you're trying to say?
Momentary aphasia, it seems. Just one more neurological episode for the station Lazarus to look into during your next checkup.
He looks like he's about to puke.
Would it help if we change the subject?
Yeah.
This isn't going to work. Maybe there's some other way you can prove yourself to them.
Oh, it will work. Listen, there's got to be some other way I could prove myself to the group.
Some other way? If you're not much of a reader, why are you so dead set on joining this reading group?
Because this flares stuff sounds totally disco, I have to get to the bottom of it. Like Ignus Nielsen himself, I've come to foretell a great reckoning.
I thought I perceived some eschatological air about you, but to be perfectly frank, I just don't see it happening.
Steban, a moment.
The young man's companion beckons him into a private conference.
What? Really? You're saying? But there's no way... Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. I am listening.
A note of real uncertainty in his voice.
All right, Gendarme. Comrade Ulexes and I have conferred about it, and we've come up with an alternative way for you to convince us of your commitment to the group.
And what's that?
The young man gives his companion an uncertain glance. The companion nods his head vigorously.
I want you to hit me.
Hit you?
Doesn't have to be a hard hit. Just enough to leave a mark.
Oh, I see. Police brutality.
The idea is to show Maurice and those other traitors that we are the only reading group hardcore enough to tangle with the RCM.
This is what you've been waiting for. Time to lay his little punk ass out. Just theorizing here, but if you don't have as much control over your muscle groups as you'd like, perhaps you could try something you know is bound to fail.
Wait, you're saying I could try to really lay this kid out, knowing I will first screw it up?
Precisely. It's brilliant. Assuming you don't accidentally succeed.
This is absurd, I don't want to hit you.
The young man can hardly conceal his disappointment. He was apparently looking forward to being punched by you.
I won't hit him, that's way too problematic, especially as a cop.
Well, if you're not going to play along, I don't think we have anything further to discuss. Good evening to you, Gendarme. Would you mind? We've got group business to take care of.
That means go home, Gendarme.
Oh, I just lost my chance.
Would you mind?
That means...
Well, it seems like the underground cell won't accept me. Fuck. Hey Cindy, can you help me?
Hello again.
No, you can't. Wait, now if I go back, will they reset? He's sitting.
Would you mind? We've got group business.
That means go home.
Fuck. Okay. This is a shame. And we are back at the Whirling in Rags. Titus already went home. I think we are done here. Did I want to talk to Cluster maybe? I don't remember.
Was there?
Hey, goodbye. I think I still wanted to talk to Cluster, but I'm very unsure. Ooh. Nice, I got some bottles. Glad is not here, odd.
The same.
Okay, in this case, I'm gonna go to bed and end this episode right here. Tomorrow we'll get Kim back, I think. Which means everything will be back to normal. Hey Kim!
The lieutenant's door is closed.
I miss you, Kim. Come back. Let's clean up the room a tiny bit.
A mirror hangs.
Let it be. Okay. Can I do anything with this?
The fan stands. The lights are off again. The lights. The bed is still cold from the broken window and not too inviting.
Yeah.
But it's yours. You've earned it.
Go to sleep.
The room behind your closed eyelids is familiar now. The only home you've ever known. Its darkness gathers. The last thing you hear is the wind blowing in through the broken window. Then something comes. A kind of sleep.
Oh no. This will go bad like always.
Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes, tightening around you, it digs into your brain.
Great, this is gonna be really chill. Don't show my ass, I know what this is.
How have things been going for you out there? Helped anyone lately? Saved anyone lately? Murdered anyone lately?
This bastard isn't even listening to you.
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people. And then forgets about it.
Okay, so I'm a murderer and that's bad.
Hear that? He doesn't even flinch. Iceman doesn't care about killing people. That's nothing to him. Blackwater, under the bridge. The thing he's really scared of is much, much worse than that.
What is it?
Don't tell him, sister. It's too bad.
Why are you doing this? I just want to sleep. I can almost see the dark.
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these tortures, voices and tremors are all just distractions, flares and countermeasures to keep you from the last dream.
The last dream?
The worst of them all.
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore, Harry. We will be dormant. You will be naked and alone.
And the air will smell of apricots.
Of hell. An ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later, in front of the video rental, there is a warm breath on your face again. Everything is okay again.
Everything is so okay.
Doesn't sound like it will be okay.
Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them again, you sense the light of the room around you. You're back. In 2 seconds, the alarm will ring.
The last thought in your head before waking is, maybe you shouldn't have seen that stained glass window in the church.
Okay, let's open my eyes. Can I get up? Okay, anyway, that was all for this. Wait, I can interact with that.
The window stands.
Oh. That was all for this episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll continue from here next time. Bye.